Hey everybody, it's GomletX, and today's video was previously recorded live on the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, so if you hear me talking in chat and you see my face cam, that's what's going on here. Without further ado, let's hop into another draft of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Okay, draft number 2 for today. I like Colossal Sky Turtle. The green decks can be pretty rampy, and this turns into just a big game-ending threat. It's got these channel abilities if you don't make it to 7 mana. If you're at risk of dying, you can just bounce the opposing threat with your channel ability, which is nice. Colossal Sky Turtle's a fun card. Pretty fun way to start a draft. It doesn't even tie us necessarily to green-blue. It's just like ties us to green, because green, of course, has a lot of random little ways that help us splash in that little bit of blue we need for the Sky Turtle. So that's a fun start. I don't like Mech Titan Core. I know it's really funny when you get it to happen, but it's pretty hard to get it to happen. You need a ton of artifact creatures on the board. I've never gotten it to work, and I don't really feel like I ever wanted to try that. We went 3-3 with the last deck, very average. Pretty great commons here: Geothermal Kami, Moon Circuit Hacker, Modern Age, Tamiyo's Completion, but I think it's Sky Turtle. Ooh, get a green rare. Not a phenomenal rare, though. 3 mana for Saga. We're going to gain 2 life, exile a card from our top 3, then gain 2 life, exile a card from our top 3, then we get a 0/1 egg, and when it dies, we can cast a creature for free? I mean, it's good with the turtle. If we exile the turtle and then shump block with this egg, we get the turtle out early. I don't know. I'll play around with it. It doesn't seem great. I mean, it's really slow. It's really slow, and you could just not hit a creature card. But it's fun. It's cute. There's Moon Snare Specialist, which is definitely better. Jukai Naturalist is probably better. Searchlight Companion here. Yeah, I don't think the right pick is Dragon Kami Reborn, but it's a fun one. It's the funnest pick. Yeah, Naturalist is pretty great. We can go Naturalist here. Be green, white, splash, blue enchantments. Spirited Companion makes me pretty happy about that, but there's also Spinning Wheel Kick. These are both disgusting. Spinning Wheel Kick costs a lot of mana, but it's just got a 2 or 3 for one your opponent really hard. Spirited Companion is just very consistent and always great in that early game. Those are both phenomenal. I think those two are the picks. There are great black cards in this pack, Gravelighter and Okiba Reckoner Raid as well. I think I want to go Spirited Companion here. I'm probably too high on that card. Spinning Wheel Kick is very legit. In the draft I uploaded to YouTube today, I guess it's not out for another hour and 15, but I just played against like 4 Spinning Wheel Kicks in a row. It was horrible. Got destroyed every time that card got cast. We've got a really good enchantment start for Companion. But yeah, Spinning Wheel Kick's just huge when you can ramp up into it. Ooh, Blossom Prancer. Good lord, 5 mana 4/4 reach. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or enchantment from among them and put it into your hand. So 5 mana 4/4 that draws you a card off the top 5, and if it doesn't, you gain 4 life. Huge. Incredible card. Definitely the best card in this pack. Super good signal for green, getting that pick 4. Now we have Imperial Oath in white. Ridiculous common. Big endgame card. We're definitely going to need some cheap green cards, some cheap mana ramp kind of cards. But Imperial Oath is huge. It's definitely the pick. Tales of Master Shiro is solid. It's a lot of power toughness for the cost. It's just a little slow. Bearer of Memories, whatever. Fills out the curve. But yeah, Imperial Oath is going to be my pick here. There's a Geothermal Kami. Plays quite well in the green enchantment-based decks. Relatively easy pick here. A Moth Rider Patrol and a Network Terminal. Tamiyo's Safekeeping is a really nice trick during combat to make your creature win the fight and gain some life. It can counter a removal spell and gain some life. I like that better than these more filler kind of cheap creatures like Heir of the Ancient Fang, Coiling Stalker, Papercraft Decoy. I do need more cheap creatures in this deck, but we're early enough in the draft we don't have to fight that hard for them. And now we can take Fang of Shigeki. Yeah, the construct is fun with like Modern Age and stuff. It's pretty nasty, but it's really good in like green-blue primarily. Or green-blue. In blue decks primarily. Construct is colorless. Yeah, I'm going to take Fang here. It's a really nice cheap creature we can get that's going to help us block the aggressive decks while we wait to play all our big plays. Commune with Spirits is actually a card I've enjoyed a lot in this format too. Because you basically never miss in a green-white deck, because you can always hit at least a land and probably an enchantment. I don't know if it's good enough to take over another Geothermal Kami. I do love the Kamis a lot. These Kamis have been pretty slow for me too, though. We were lacking removal a lot last time, and Wanderer's Intervention is fine. This card looks like it's terrible against ninjutsu, but it's not. You just have to make sure to do it during the Declare Attacker's step. I could see it being Intervention, and I'm just not taking removal highly enough, but I'm taking Kami anyway. You can't stop me. Now we're going to take Uncharted Haven, which is a really good land for a deck like this. That's like green-white at the core with a splash of blue. It's whatever color we're going to need at the time. Moth Rider Patrol's fine, but it doesn't do anything specific for this deck. Heir of the Ancient Fang is very filler. Another Safekeeping. Grafted Growth wouldn't actually be that bad here. Our curve is really high, but I feel like another Safekeeping is probably better. I'm going to go Safekeeping. Now we get these Commune with Spirits that I actually kind of like. Draw an enchantment or land from your top 5. Top 4. Not 5. I miscounted. My numbers are all incorrect all day. This pack is very sad for what we're trying to do. There's a Searchlight Companion. There's a Season of Renewal for another just really big late game value play. There's Era of Enlightenment, which we can play early that gains us some life, then gets us a first striker eventually. Feel like looking at our curve, if you separate the non-creature cards, we're in pretty desperate need of some early game plays. To where I think I would take Era of Enlightenment over Season of Renewal here. Something we can cast early to set up our draws, gain a little bit of life, stem the bleeding, get a first striker down. Could try to splash a Naomi. I mean, she is powerful, but we have 0 artifacts right now. I'm not really looking for them. I'm going to go for the Era of Enlightenment over Season or Searchlight Companion here. Teachings of the Kirin. This saga is actually fine. For 2 mana, worst case scenario, you're going to get a 2/2 off of this. You're going to mill 3, get a 1/1, then make it a 2/2 with the +1/+1 counter, and then you flip it and get a 1/1. So 2 mana for a 2/2 and a 1/1. It's a bit slow, but it is solid. Selfless Samurai is really nice too, though. This might be better. I do really like the lifelink on this card, and being able to sacrifice this to save a bigger card is really good. So Selfless Samurai plays pretty well. It's definitely one of these 2 uncommons. I don't see anything exciting at the common slot. So Selfless Samurai. Oh, I guess Teachings of the Kirin's a rare, but it feels like an uncommon. Teachings of the Kirin or Selfless Samurai. Both are pretty great. Both are pretty solid. I think I want to go, weirdly enough, I think I want to go Selfless Samurai because I just really like having the ability to protect my bigger cards like Turtle in the late game. Which is very exciting to me. There's another Imperial Oath, which is obviously an incredible late game card, but I'm still a little worried about my early game, and Fall of Lord Konda's like, I guess Fall of Lord Konda is kind of late game, because we're not going to cast this till our opponent has a mana value 4 card anyway. Yeah, I guess it's Oath then, since that's not really an early game play, and Eiganjo Exemplar just doesn't block well, and that's what we want our cheap cards to do. We want good blockers, not good attackers. So I guess second Imperial Oath, probably, over the Fall of Lord Konda. We don't have any shrines or enchantments for the Steward yet, but it is good if you do have some. Not enchantments, but auras specifically. I'm going to take another Oath. There's the Season of Renewal. This can loop together with the Colossal Sky Turtle late game. Just infinitely. Because Season of Renewal returns 2 cards, and the Sky Turtle returns the 1 Season of Renewal, and you return a different 2 cards. Hey Lunaski, how's it going? Yeah, not a massive fan of Roaring Earth. Definitely not a fan of Coiling Stalker, so I guess it's Season of Renewal here. Don't like how slow this deck is looking. Another Season of Renewal. But again, that's another pretty dang slow card. I think I'm going to take Azusa's Many Journeys over that. Noriko Yamazaki can get a lot of good value if you can attack with her or a different samurai you control alone, and you've got some enchantments engraved, but I found that's actually a little... It happens less often than you'd think. There's just a lot of times I've gotten like no value off of Noriko, so I'm more on Azusa's here. 2 mana, gain 3 life, get a 3/3. Lets you put an extra land out too if you have one in hand. Ooh, pick 6, another Blossom Prancer. Let's go. Yeah, everything's going pretty great with me, Lunaski. It's been a solid month. Very chill. I got my, well, I didn't get it, but I went and got a new passport meeting. They took the picture for it. I filled out all the paperwork and all that stuff. But actually, Sunblade Samurai might be pretty legit in here, because we have so many big high mana cost stuff. I'm not going anywhere right now. I just wanted to have my passport ready for whenever I do want to go somewhere, you know? It's that kind of thing where, like, when I do want to go on a trip, I don't want to have to do my passport appointment and, like, get it expedited and everything, because even then it can take, like, months. So that was pretty nice. So in a few months, I will have a passport again, and then I can go somewhere. But I really want to go to, like, Belgium sometime next year, the year after, because that is where my family came from. So I want to go see some distant relatives and just check out the country. Seems pretty cool. Yeah, passports take months, which is why I decided to do it right now, when I'm like, I'm not planning on going anywhere this year, but like next year, the year after, I'd really like to be able to. So, I'd like to have that option open without having to do a giant meeting for it and everything. I don't think Historian's Wisdom's very good, but Exemplar, it gives us a 2/1 chumper. I don't know. We'll take Wisdom over it. Ooh, Cultivation's great. 2 mana, 1/1 taps for green, or an aura. But yeah, ideally in a year or two, I'd like to go visit around, like Charleroi in southern Belgium. Go check out all the castles and little towns and stuff. Cloudsteel Kieran's a pretty funny rare. It's a 3 mana, 3/2 flyer, worst case scenario. And if you reconfigure this onto something, you can't lose until they kill whatever you put it onto. It's probably the pick here. I mean, a 3 mana, 3/2 flyer is fine, even in a green-white dedicated enchantments deck. And the only other cards are a 3rd copy of Tamio's Safekeeping, or a Befriending the Moths, or Blossoming Sands. I guess a Ninja's Kunai when we're low on removal, but I'm gonna take this Cloudsteel Kieran. Never mind, I'll take the enormous Energy Blade, says Arena. This is a Cloudsteel Kieran, it's just a visual bug. Boseiju Reaches Skyward is the best green saga, the best green uncommon, probably. No, Kapatek Wrecker's better, but only by a little bit. This card's very good. 4 mana, you get 2 forests to your hand, then on turn 2 you basically do nothing, but then on turn 3 you get a gigantic reach creature. That is definitely the biggest card on board at all times. Easy choice there. Oh, wow, this is actually kind of a hard choice. There's a 3rd Imperial Oath, a 2nd Jukai Naturalist, and a first Fall of Lord Konda. All of which are great. All of which are great. Even Bamboo Grove Archer is fine. It's probably the Naturalist. It doesn't actually help us play any of our late game enchantments or late game cards that easily, because a lot of our late game plays are like double Oath, double Blossom Prancer. But it's still good to, like, turn 3 Boseiju was just insane. 1 turn early Sky Turtle's big. And it is a 2/2 lifelink, which is huge. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Naturalist here, but could see an argument for the others. How good is Surge Hacker Mech when it's your only vehicle? 4 mana, do 2 damage to a creature. And then you can crew this as a 5/5 menace for 4. It's like okay. Honestly, Kunai might be better for us, because again, we're just so low on removal. I mean, Surge Hacker Mech actually is just... It does what Kunai does. It does 2 damage instead of 3. Imperial Recovery Unit's interesting. Sometimes you can get this to work really well, but other times it just feels like it does nothing. The Mech, the Kunai, the Mech, the Kunai. I'll go for the Mech. It kind of does the same thing as the Kunai, where it shoots a small creature. But this one leaves behind a body, potentially. Yeah, it's like Twin Shot Sniper at home. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, Twin Shot Sniper's pretty nuts. Imperial Oath number 3. Tales of Master Sashiro. And that's about it. I go for Imperial Oath number 3. My late game is just going to be all Imperial Oaths all day long. Tails is good. I mean, with double Naturalist, we could lean to Tails. But I just remember playing against decks where it's like, they get to the late game and you just go Imperial Oath, scry 3, dig for your next Imperial Oath, Imperial Oath, next turn, scry 3, dig for the next Imperial Oath. Like, a deck that just has like 5 copies of Imperial Oath is unbeatable when it gets to like turn 6. I feel like, weirdly enough, it's one of the few 6-drops in the game that's like the more the merrier, which is why I was kind of interested in Oath there, because you scry them into each other. I kind of like Bamboo Grove Archer here. I know I have a lot of cheap stuff. Maybe I'm supposed to take Emergence, but I feel like our endgame's real good. So I'm going to take Bamboo Grove Archer. And now we fill our deck with nonsense. That's probably getting cut. I already have 2 safekeepings. I don't think I'll play a third. First Kunai over Blossoming Sands. Our removal is literally just Spinning Wheel Kick and Surge Hacker Mech right now. I feel like I'm supposed to Kunai, which is just the saddest thing ever. Get 1 Kunai in this deck. That's my removal. Clearly, I am not drafting removal high enough. I think one of the things that I notice in these return drafts is that whenever there's a return draft, you're going to get a lot more people that are kind of like newer to the format. So the draft meta can sort of devolve back to the early meta of like just your basic drafting pick orders of like you take bombs really highly, then removal really highly, and then you start getting to like your just solid filler cards. Whereas once the format progresses a lot, once the format really gets like quote unquote solved, then like there's a pick order where people will be going for like Blossom Prancers and Boseijus and maybe even Selfless Samurais and stuff over removal spells. But like when you go back to a format and everybody's kind of newer to it again, people just take removal massively highly, like when they're first starting the format. So I feel like I need to readjust my pick order and take removal a lot more highly in the return drafts than I would, because like basically how I'm drafting today and how I drafted yesterday and all these other times is very, very close to how I would have drafted like 3 months into the Kamigawa season, like near the Arena Open. But I don't think that's correct in these draft pods, because it feels like removal just disappears so fast. Oh yeah, Fade is solid removal. Did I overlook a Fade? That would be sad if I just didn't even notice it. Because that was just a brain fart if I overlooked the Fade into Antiquity. That is a solid removal spell. I was probably just distracted talking about other stuff. I just didn't recognize the artwork well. Yeah, 3 mana exile and instant or sorcery, that definitely counts as removal in this format. 50 cards in here, this is way too many. I have to cut 10 cards out of this pile? I'm definitely cutting these things, they're just 2 drops that don't synergize, the rest of our 2 drops do. Except for Samurai, but this one's just good. Only Fade that I saw was in a pack with Prancer? Okay, good. I'd be really, really sad if I just completely didn't notice a Fade into Antiquity. Yeah, Neo is a powerhouse format for sure. You end up with a lot of playables. You know, don't really need this Sky Turtle. It's cute for Season of Renewal loops, but kind of only picked up the Uncharted Haven for mana fixing. I didn't get any Tanukis. I didn't get any Ecologists Terrariums. This deck might be better without it, just as a 2-color deck. Feels like we still have ways to close out the game. We have a lot of 4-power creatures at least. Double Kami, double Prancer, Tales of Master Shishiro is a 5/5, Samurai is a 4/4. And then double Imperial Oath can also close games out. Without Terrariums, with just 1 Haven, no blue duels, no Tanukis either, I think I am going to drop the Sky Turtle. Sadly. Historian's Wisdom doesn't do too much. +2/+1 to somebody and draw a card. I mean, it's really good on a Naturalist, I guess. Get a 4-power Lifelinker going and draw a card. It's kind of Magical Christmas Land, though. Because like top decking this late feels pretty terrible. These communes don't do a whole lot. Kunai we kind of have to keep in because we need removal. Same with Surge Hacker Mech. Our removal is so jank. It's always so jank. 13 creatures, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sagas. Kind of makes it 17 creatures. Also, Cultivation is basically a creature. Don't really need that ramp that badly anymore because our curve is stopping up at 5. I guess 6 because Oath and Spinning Wheel Kick are like 6 drops. But those are just the kind of things that like we can just keep playing these cards until we draw into the 6th land. We don't really need to put in extra ways to get up to that 6th mana. And we naturally have a Boseiju to help do that. I think I like cutting these cards, and then I still need to cut 3 more. Too much. Too many good things in the format. I want to cut this kunai, but I also don't want to have a 0 removal deck. I could cut I could cut kunai and Surge Hacker Mech, and then we could just name the deck Removal is for Chumps. No one needs removal. Just play a 0 removal deck, it'll be okay. Well, we'll have 1 Spinning Wheel Kick, and we'll have 2 safekeepings to win in combat, but that doesn't really count as removal. I guess we have double Bamboo Grove Archer. We can remove flyers, and we can pick them up with Geothermal Commies to channel them to kill a big flyer. If our opponent plays a big flyer, and on the ground, we can kind of compete with everything on the ground. We got 4/4s and 5/5s galore, mainly a bunch of 4/4s, 4/3s. Whatever, I'm just going to compete on the ground. I'm not doing a single removal spell. Well, I'm 1 Spinning Wheel Kick, but it's like that's for a very rainy day. Cutting 1 Season of Renewal? Probably not. Card is huge value. cut one card, literally any card in this deck. Don't care if it's a creature or non-creature. Maybe the Sunblade Samurai. Maybe one Kami, maybe a Bearer of Memory, maybe one Bamboo Grove Archer, maybe one Season. Always indecisive on the last cuts. Not cutting a land here. One Archer. Yeah, we've got a lot of 2-drops blocking already. Our Blossom Prancers have reach in the late game as well. Hidden Reach. Let's go. I forgot about the Hidden Reach, yeah. Then I'm pretty protected against flyers. Or at least decently well enough. Alright. Removals for chumps. Put our one removal spell as our deck picture, the one spinning wheel kick. Make sure our colors are good. 17 green, 8 white. No double white cards. Do a 9-7 split. I don't want to go below 7 because I do have a lot of white 2-drops. But I also don't think this is an even split deck. We've got double green Prancers and spinning wheel kicks and all that. We also want to be holding up one green mana at instant speed a lot with Tamiyo's Safekeeping. So having, you know, 2 green, 2 forests and 1 plains on board turn 3 is ideal. Because then we drop our 2-drop and hold up our 1 mana green spell. Yeah, I like slightly more green than white, but not too much more where it can hinder us from dropping our 2-drop white cards because they're all very good. Yep, I think this is the deck. Let me just go back into it real quick, sort it out. Give you all a nice picture, because I'm going to go on a short break real quick before we head into the gameplay. Gonna go refill my water, go to the restroom, all that good stuff. So if you need to grab a drink, grab a snack, now is a great time to do so, but I will be back very shortly to see how our second draft deck of the night does today. We are back. Let's get into the gameplay here. Green-White Enchantments deck number 2. Got a couple Jukai Naturalists and stuff this time. This is more of the classic kind of Green-White Enchantments deck. We've got no removal this time, though. That'll be the exciting part. Oh, I forgot to do polls. I haven't done a poll in so long. I'm going to start a prediction. We're going to do another prediction. How will this draft deck perform? If you've got channel points you want to burn, then vote if you think we're going to get 3 or less wins or 4 or more wins. I'll start a prediction for 1 minute. And now you've got something to do with your channel points. Oh my god. This might be weighted because this first game's looking good. That's a curve. Alright. Oh, could you imagine we get a Tales of Master Sashiro return early? Because of this curve? Just need to hit 1 land to do it and we get to scry 2 off of Era of Enlightenment. Oh, it's gonna be so heavily weighted. Watch, no one's gonna say 3 or less wins. And then the poll just doesn't matter. But that means you all have faith in me, so I'll accept that. Come on, one non-believer, you'll get all the goods if I fail. Ooh, there's the land. Oh, I don't need a land for Master Sashiro because I drew into Naturalist even. Just pick up Blossom Prancer. I guess I will need the land for the Prancer. Yeah, let's just guarantee the Prancer here by leaving both of these. Did anybody doubt? Or did it just fail? Fail to fire? I was gonna say, somebody's got to be a doubter for just 10 points, and then if you win, you get like 2,000. You all have too much faith in me. I appreciate it, though. That is absolutely hilarious. Ecologist's Terrarium. Opponents on the 5-color deck here. Bloodfell Caves, Scoured Barrens, Forest Island. They'll have all the mana for Kamigawa next turn, I believe. They have 4 right now. Sure, trade that off here. I want them to gain 3 life every turn. There is a lone doubter! Drakus is the lone doubter. Not because you don't believe, because you're betting against the spread. Yeah, that's how you do it. Statistically, a good bet, because you're not going to lose that much if you lose, but you're going to gain a lot if you win. These are all great. They're all just sick nasty. I don't really have anything I really want to bounce and replay, so I'm just going to take the biggest standalone threat here. Behold the Unspeakable in their hand. And Searchlight Companion to block with. Safekeeping's the draw, and I can hold that up. Even casting Samurai this turn. This is insane. Look at this board state. This is like turn 6. This was the curve. This hand is brutal. Now, even if they Wrath us, I guess if they play Plains Farewell, we could lose. But if they play a different Wrath, we can still give one thing indestructible. I don't think we kill them through a Behold. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we don't kill them here. Hey, Dr. Moon. Things are going pretty great. Hope things are going great for you as well. I'm just gonna hold on to Kami. Just in case they do have Farewell. I kind of scared myself there when I mentioned that card's existence. You're in between meetings, think you're finally getting over COVID? Nice. I am happy to hear you are recovering. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. I just had like the worst headache of my life, but it was just a headache for me. But it was still really nice when I started recovering, because it was like a week-long headache. It's like, you know when you're like sick and it just like sucks, but it's not like, you don't feel like you're dying or anything, it just kind of sucks. And then once you start getting well again, you're just like you never thought you were gonna like just have that clarity again where just like there's nothing wrong. You're just like, oh, I'm just like here, just sitting here and I feel normal, you know? When you're first recovering from illness, at least for me, it always feels like that, where it's like I'm always like, I'm never taking one day of health for granted again. It feels so good. My head's all clear. My sinuses are clear. No problems. I can go breathe the outdoor air. I can go on a walk and everything. Everything's awesome. And then like 2 days later, I just forget. I'm like, whatever, everything's normal. But like those first couple days, once you've recovered from your illness, you really do. You feel so clear. It's nice. So that's like the bright side of having an illness. You get to feel really good for a few days once you're back to normal. Might not be supposed to curve out like this here. I might be supposed to just lean into my Tameo safekeeping and just wait till a turn later. Especially against black-red, they could have a lot of removal. That was probably a little extra risky. What's the win rate so far? We are 1-0. Gravelighter, that's annoying. Oh, Season of Renewal's great here. Wow. I don't know if I safekeeping or Season of Renewal if they block. If they don't block, then it's easy. I just play a land and pass. Wait for them to spend removal on Cloudsteel Kieran, and then I Season of Renewal. Keep safekeeping in hand. Maybe they'll ninjutsu the Gravelighter here. It'd be pretty powerful. So we did one draft before this Dr. Moon. That draft was 3-3. So right now we're 4-3 on the day. But this draft is 1-0. Twin Shot Sniper. Sure, you got it. So I can get my full value Season of Renewal out of the way. One more white source would have been beautiful here, because then I could play both of these cards. It's still fine, just play Cloudsteel Kieran. Yeah, Kamigawa is a great draft format. I think it's my favorite draft format of the year, for sure. I think it is the best draft format of the year. This year we had Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, Streets of New Capenna, Alchemy, Baldur's Gate so far. It's kind of unfortunate. It's not looking great here. You just take it. Down to 12. I don't want to try to safekeeping to win a combat when they have a bunch of open mana in black-red. Just kind of want to wait till they have less cards in hand. It's just less likely they are holding onto some trick here. Ooh. That is really good. Now we get to attack with Vigilance with our flyer. Still hold it up as a blocker that's big enough to block any of their creatures without dying. So now they have to use a trick if they want to attack in. Or a removal spell. Yeah, that's true. That is one of the things. I thought pretty similarly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I take 6 damage if I don't hexproof here. I'm gonna hexproof, unfortunately. Yeah, it's weird because Streets of New Capenna, I was pretty sure that was gonna be a slam dunk for me because the flavor is so cool. But it's just unfortunate the gameplay was not super great there. Kill both Sniper and Gravelighter if they double block. Then I'm gonna get a 5/5 Vigilance next turn. Is that worth it? I mean, I can't lose the game if they don't have a removal spell, if I can equip this cure into something else, so I don't know if that's worth it. Probably just holding up blocks. I actually don't even think I'm reconfiguring right now. I guess I could go land reconfigure. But then they just like Voltage Surge Naturalist. If they draw into one, or Twin Shot Sniper, or there's just a lot of things. I guess if they do though, the Kieran falls off and I have a flying blocker, but taking a lot of extra damage by not holding up a flying blocker. I'm just gonna pass. Yeah, that's true, Dr. Moon. It's kind of weird because it feels like sets come and go really fast, like spoiler seasons and everything and all that. I guess that's because of how many paper sets there are. But when you think back on how many draft formats there have been this year on Arena, there have been 8 months this year. And we've got Kamigawa, Capenna, Baldur's Gate. We've got 3 sets in 8 months. It's like, that's not bad. That's pretty average. But then Paper had other formats as well. I guess we had Double Feature. I wouldn't really count that though. That's just more Innistrad. The same thing. Didn't make any new cards for it. That's true. We had the Arena Cube. But when we're talking about like brand new like formats. Naturalist isn't really going to block any better ever. So I might as well, I think. Geothermal Kami. There's nothing I want to pick up here. Seshiro trades into 2 of their creatures. They draw a card though. But they can block with like 3 things and be blocking with 6 toughness. That's fine. Maybe they just chump draw a card here. They could play You're Already Dead after blocking with Papercraft Decoy, I suppose. Could reconfig now. I still don't feel like I want to just take 2 every turn, though. Because, like, if I reconfig, then they can just have a win condition of just 2 every turn and then, like, Twisted Embrace on the last turn, and I'm dead. But if I don't reconfig, I'm still taking 0 damage every turn over and over. But then I guess that way they can't kill the Kieran itself. They can only kill the Living Legacy. I don't know, I'm still at a point where I feel like I just like having a flying blocker. Might be wrong. I'm very excited to see how the Arena Cube works out this month, because we just got that new Historic Anthology and Explorer Anthology. A bunch of new very spicy cards that are definitely going into the cube. And it's going to be an Arena Cube as well, just straight up Arena Cube, not even a Tinkerer's Cube or Chromatic Cube. So that means it's just going to be straight up. They're just trying to put all the most powerful cards in there, period. Be very interesting to see. That's a good draw. That's a spicy, spicy draw. Do they have a way to double block this and only lose 1 creature? Yeah, they block with a 2/3 and a 2/2. Feels bad. We attack with just Seshiro and then Blossom Prancer post combat. Alright, they're gonna get their Papercraft Decoy card draw. Pick up this Geothermal Kami, just another big attacker. Kumano faces Kakazan. That's a damage to my face, a +1/+1 counter on their next creature, and a 2/2 haste. And Okiba Reckonerate, alright. Multiple 1-drop threats. 8 mana here, 4 to play Kami and 4 to recast an enchantment, but the only enchantment is my 5/5, so that's probably not happening. At this point, I think I attack all and kind of let them kill the Kieran, because we're just doing so much damage. We're going to close the game out real quick. Because if I attack all and they choose to double block Kieran, that means they're just chumping somewhere here, so they chump and take 8, go to 3 life. It could go poorly for me if they have really good instants in hand, but otherwise, I think we're at that point. We're just sending all. Okay, double block a Blossom Prancer. No. Triple block Seshiro. That is 13 damage on the board, though. Okay. Double block Prancer and chump block Seshiro. Take 9. Prancer's doing 4 damage, right? I'd rather kill a 2/3 reach than a 2/2 flyer. I'm not worried about their crackback. Maybe I should be, because they are black red, which are life loss colors. I guess a 2-3 body is not going to, it's not going to trade up into anything more than a 2-2 body would, so yeah, I should have just killed the flyer. But 2-3 does stack up a lot better with multiple creatures blocking. Looks pretty unlikely that that's happening here, though. Alright, I think we are 2-0 now with this deck. Removal is for chumps. Completely unnecessary. No removal, no problem. I need to just get like an IV that just shoves water into my veins while I stream. I spend so much time drinking while streaming and recording. This hand is sick. Selfless Samurai, Boseiju reaches skyward on 4. With Boseiju reaches skyward, we know we have the 6 lands. We need to drop Imperial Oath on 6. Wow, we drew a turn 3 play now. This is insane. Yeah, Gamer Ivy. It'll just keep me fed and hydrated. Zeus's Many Journeys. Turn 2 for my opponent. For max efficiency, I need a gaming diaper too. Yeah, there we go. That's what it's all about. Max efficiency. No time spent on basic human needs. Playing against another 5-color Kamigawa deck. Yup. A little sad they got Zeus's Many Journeys turn 2. Well, they didn't have a 4th land to play this turn though, so it all worked out. It's all okay. I'll trade this off, that's fine. Get this Death Toucher out of here. Don't actually need Naturalist here, so I'd rather tap out for the flyer. If I play Naturalist, the next turn I can play Boseiju Reaches Skyward and Bamboo Grove Archer. But honestly, I don't think I want to play this Archer. I just want to save it in case they do have the Kami War or something. Then we can blow up the dragon it makes at the end. That's a Tatsunari Toad Rider, and my lack of removal is actually a scary thing now, because as soon as they cast another enchantment, they get a 3/3 frog, and then when they cast another enchantment after that, they're draining us for life. This is where I am actually very sad I can't just blow that up with something. We're gonna get hit for 6 here. I'm not gonna block with Kieran. Well, I would block the Toad Rider. I would be willing to block the Toad Rider. It makes it so it can't be blocked except by creatures with flying, so I could still block with Kieran. If they spend the mana on that. But yeah, that is an additional effect it's got. I'm going to pass here. This doesn't feel like a game that I'm actually going to aggro them out. They're at 24 right now. We're going to hit them down to 21 if I attack in. Just need to make sure I survive this initial Tatsunari onslaught, and then I just flip a Boseiju for a massive creature to take over the game, Imperial Oath to go wide and scry. Like, I've got the late game here. Just make sure I survive the early game. Jukai Preserver's horrible for me, because now Tatsunari is just a 4/4. And if I block this one, then they untap 3 lands and cast another spell here and just curve out on me. It's going bad. I'm just going to get Tatsunari'd because they don't have removal. So at this point, I basically have to just play the Archer. I guess, on the other hand, if neither player has removal this game, we can win with Cloudsteel, Kieran. Just make it so we can't die until they draw a removal spell. Yeah, we can reconfigure and pray later. Yeah, hitting your opponent down to 21, that's never a phrase you want to hear. Commune with spirits. For a land. They have 2 cards in hand. Oh dear. Oh no. Am I gonna get tricked really hard here? I'm taking 9 damage? No tricks, no tricks, no tricks, no tricks, no tricks, no tricks. Please. No! Alright, that's not bad. We still only lose 1 creature. They can use Tatsunari's ability next turn, so we can only block with flyers. We can block with reach though too, right? Flying and reach on these 2 blockers. So I don't think we can Imperial Oath. I think we have to just reconfigure and pray. If I Imperial Oath here, they're threatening 7 damage. And I block... I guess I block the 3/3 frog with my 3/3 Bamboo Grove Archer, but I don't block anything with Kieran. I feel like I just reconfigure this turn. And pray. It could be Oath though, because what happens if they immediately have removal? I've reconfigured... Oh yeah, Bosager's reach as well. If Bosager's reach as well, I forgot about that, then I think I do Oath this turn to set up the draws. Already got a season, pick a safekeeping here. Those are draws though, very much. Send in the Kieran, because I'm not going to block with it this time. So next turn we have 7 mana. We're going to spend 3 to pick up Samurai and Naturalist. Bear could give Boseiju Trample. I think I'm going for a really long game here though, because if I Season of Renewal and I pick up... Samurai and Naturalist, Samurai can give something indestructible that stops 1 removal spell from saving them from Cloudsteel Kieran. Tamio's Safekeeping also gives indestructible and hexproof, stop another removal spell from saving them from Cloudsteel Kieran. So I think I'm just on the Cloudsteel Kieran game plan here. And just grinding it out really slowly. I don't think I ever want to send this branch in, at least not for quite some time. Maybe I should have still kept Bear though, because then I have a way to try to close this game out actually a lot faster than I'm currently doing it. Just give flying as well. Jesus, good lord. I didn't even realize that. That wasn't part of what I was thinking about, but yeah. Make Branch of Boseiju flying and have 2 ways to give it indestructible. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the play next turn. I thought I was gonna like put Kieran on an archer or something just so it's not a great target, but that makes things so easy. Just make the one gigantic threat in a can that they can't do anything about. So we have multiple ways to give indestructible. We've got a way to give hexproof as well. Closes the game in like 3 swings. And now they can hit me as hard as they want, and I can't lose as long as our Branch of Boseiju is still on board. I'm still going to go for the best blocks I have on board if they do attack. In case they are planning to do something like land farewell as one of their only possible outs. Okay, Tatsunari and the frog get flying, basically. They jump into the sky. My options here are to go to 0 or block the creature that they just get a copy of if they recast an enchantment. And I can just go to 0. But I hope they're not playing an enchantment here. They are Life of Toshiro Umezawa. Fair enough, solid value play. Well, on the plus side, there's something in our grave for our Season of Renewal now. 9/9 branch now. Alright, pass turn, and this is their final chance to deal with the Branch of Boseiju or get a flyer of their own. Or reach creature, they could block with that too. They're gonna gain 2 life with Life of Toshiro Umezawa. What else have we got? Attack us for way negative on life. Sure, yeah, I can Season of Renewal for Archer to shoot the flyer down and find lethal still. Fade into Antiquity. I love you, Tamiyo's safekeeping. I almost shat myself. That was terrifying. Had to read the card there real quick. Target permanent, thank God. Yeah, good thing I got the gaming diaper on. What is this? Oh, it's just a green mana. They're just trying to scare me again. You already scared me enough, the bowels are empty. I'm 1 win away from Diamond. This is a great draft so far, 3-0 on this one. I didn't even realize how nasty our deck is with Cloudsteel Kieran with double of that Tamiyo safekeeping. That's just nuts. It's just ridiculous. Any permanent gets hexproof and indestructible, so we can stop them from doing exile to target permanent and all that stuff. Kieran OP, please nerf. Time for the deciding game. If we win this game, then all of the believers get like 1 channel point. I can get a 3rd plains here. I have a lot of forests in here, right? Sounds so good if I hit the forest. This has got to be a mulligan though, right? I'm not playing anything if we don't. I can get a 3rd plains Sunblade Samurai. I guess I have a late game Imperial Oath even if I just hit plains. Whatever, I'm keeping it. I'm gonna draw perfectly. Okay, not yet, but that is a good draw because I get to scry into the forest. No, my Prancer. Prance right onto the bottom of the deck. Mono red, uh-oh. I could get punished by an aggro deck. Goro! My nemesis returns. Face so many Goros today and I will never stop. Blue-red. Blue-red is like another artifact aggro color. It has a lot of little flying artifacts and stuff. Such as a Moonfolk Puzzle Maker. Well, we've gotten punished today. Thundering Raiju, oh my god. Now they have Raiju Goro, so they're guaranteed to have modified creatures, so they can get those 5/5 dragons. We drew our removal spell. Now's the time. Blow up the whole board. Opponent gets all the Puzzle Maker scries. Extra Raiju damage. I think we have 10 green sources in here. My untapped is not working for me. I can't look through my deck right now. I can check after this. You're too late, friend. They've made a 5/5 Dragon Spirit. Their board state is monstrous. They get another 5/5 next turn. Yeah, you're... I won't scoop, but you are too late, Forest. There, I'll chump block with a life linker. Mana do be like that sometimes. Be major hindsight mulligan. But we have like 10 green sources in the deck, so I think it was a fine keep. They get another dragon, they make Raiju a 5/5, so I can't double block and kill it. Yeah, we're super out of it. If I had Farewell in my deck, I guess I'd actually still be in it there. Just try to chump just long enough to draw into Farewell and the mana for it. But 3/1 it is. Put a tiny bit of fear into the believers. We're 3/1 now if I lose the next 2 rounds. The non-believers win. It's below 4 wins. Oh, I should check the deck because it wouldn't, my deck list isn't showing up over here on my untapped. Double check our counts here. Yeah, we have 10 green sources. That was the count. Round 5, 3-1. Just 1 win away from a nice break-even draft. Also 1 win away from the believers being rewarded with their 1 channel point. 2 losses away from the non-believers to just absolutely just take all the money. Drakus, the lone doubter. Alright. We're on the play here. Slower hand, but big late game value with Blossom Prancer on 5 into Oath on 6. Samurai makes sure we have at least 4 lands in this hand already. Just gonna hope my opponent isn't aggro. We could lose if our opponent is aggro, but if our opponent is a more mid-rangey, like more standard kind of draft deck here, I think we've got a really good shot with this hand. Alright, turn 1 Fang of Shigeki. They're on green-white as well. There's usually like a big mid-rangey value pile. Turn 2 Spirited Companion. Yeah, this should be pretty good. Not threatening that much damage here. Just gonna hit us for 2 next turn. Got a turn 4 play now. It's not a big value play, it's just a 4 mana 4/3, but we're still gonna dump it on the board. So we're doing things a little earlier. Plus, if it dies, like trading into the one of the best rares. They get a plains into their hand, then they discard a card, return a card with mana value 2 or less from grave to battlefield, then they get a 3/4 vigilance that spits out a 1/1 every time it attacks and blocks. That is a huge card. I'm tempted to Boseiju here because I'm only taking 2 next turn still. This doesn't do any extra damage immediately. Yeah, I'm going to Boseiju over the Geothermal Kami. That was a pretty good draw. Alright. We very much got a game here. This is not going to be very one-sided. It's going to be big back and forth. Except that's Restoration of Iganjo and Lion Sash. Maybe I spoke too soon. Because that's 2 bomb rares. And they blew up our Branch of Boseiju and got a 2/2 because they had an artifact and enchantment on board. Good God. Okay. They can exile these from grave to stop us from using Season of Renewal as well. And they have the mana to do that up already. So I can't even Season of Renewal this turn to make sure I get those 2 cards back. Boseiju's just straight gone. This Lion Sash is going to be huge. I spoke too soon. This is a monstrous blowout here. A double rare turn. Yeah, I cannot imagine a better curve from opponent here. Shigeki into Companion, into Restoration of Iganjo, into discard and play Lion Sash for free. Cannot imagine a better draw their deck could have, unless their deck is incredible. Which already looks very good. But yeah, plus the Banishing Slash with Artifact and Enchantment on board to shoot down the branch. This is nasty. Lion Sash only gets to be a 3/3 at least right now, but it can reconfigure and make something else just a 3/3. That is Death Touch though. Not a good trade. They still keep the Lion Sash on board, and then they'll exile our Prancer from grave and everything. They have Shigeki as well, which they can spend 2 mana, tap it, put a land from the top 4 into play, and put everything else into grave, put it back in their hand. So later they have a huge value play, returning a lot of cards from grave to hand. Spinning Wheel Kick's a huge draw here. It's actually really nice. I'm not sure if I'm casting that this turn, or if I'm holding out and getting greedy with it. I can blow up the Architect of Restoration and Shigeki right now, and then I just have to deal with Lion Sash. But dealing with Lion Sash is gonna be difficult. Imperial Oath helps with that a lot, though. I think I kill Shigeki Architect. If I wait here, I'm Imperial Oathing this turn, and I'm just really hoping this Blossom Prancer sticks on board. But no, Architect's getting value as soon as it's attacking. This is getting value going back to hand. I'm going to kick here. Lion Sash is still a massive deal, though. Now they're going to be giving +4/+4, because there's 2 more permanents in Graves to exile. It's an Era of Enlightenment. Grab one at the top, one at the bottom. Here comes Fang for 3. Could be 5 if they exile their 2 permanents. They do not. We hit Jukai Naturalist. I can play Naturalist, Journeys, and Era of Enlightenment, because they're all going to be so cheap. Or I could just Oath. I could just Oath, go wide here. Cloudsteel Kieran's big, especially with safekeeping. I like waiting to play Kieran until I have safekeeping. But I like drawing those. Next turn is going to be the big Naturalist, Journeys, Era. All those get played next turn. Maybe even Kami. Yeah, I'm going to pick up safekeeping first and then Kieran, I think. I'm not going to block with Blossom Prancer because they're not going to attack in with anything that's less than 4 power. I think I get 1 attack off with it here. Alright, they exile our Imperial Oath. Are they going to exile their own permanents to make this Fang big enough? Not right now. They are open to doing that next turn if I double block the Fang. They can double pump it so it survives. I'll just move it to their own Samurai. We're probably chumping pretty much every turn to this Lion Sash until we get the Kieran out. And then we just let them hit us down to 0 life. Tales of Master Sashiro. They're tapped out, so we can actually double block and kill that companion. Because I have the Kieran plays coming, I'm actually, I think, just taking it all. Okay, so Naturalist. I could go Era of Enlightenment and replay it with Kami here. That might be better than Azusa's Many Journeys. I don't replay it, but I get it back in hand to replay it later. Play Journeys or bounce Era and get a 4/3. I'm gonna bounce Era and get a 4/3 and gain some life. I guess if I waited on it, I would gain 2 more life overall, but the life gain only really matters this turn and next turn, because these are the 2 turns my shields are down, they can actually hit us to 0. But after these 2 turns, we can put Kieran on somebody, and then our life total doesn't matter. So I need 8 mana to play the Kieran and equip it.
We are unstoppable.
Vio12, thank you for the follow. Oh boy, this is a scary one. Attack with the 4/3, that threatens at least 6 damage. I can take that and survive. Oops, so I will. Reconfigure onto the Hand of Enlightenment, so they have a big old first striker here, so I can't make a lifelink block or anything. Just a little rough. Okay, so I have 7 mana. Kieran costs 3 to play and 5 to reconfigure. I can't reconfigure right now. So we just need to Kieran and hold up safekeeping, which means I do have the mana to play Era and Scry and see what's coming up. Another safekeeping is exactly what we want. Then 3 mana to play Kieran, holding up safekeeping. One mana to play the Journeys. We still have safekeeping mana. Yeah, and both Azuz's Many Journeys and our Era of Enlightenment will gain us life next turn. To potentially even keep us above 0, even if the Kieran somehow gets dealt with. Can't attack with anybody into this first striker. We basically can't attack until we give something flying with our Cloudsteel Kieran. Okay, so flip the Tales of Master Sashiro. They've got a 5/5 Vigilance. Gonna hit us very hard. Raito Sentinel. No, they mill me a card here and mill the safekeeping. And they'll win the mill game if it comes to that. Which if they don't play a reach creature or flyer, it won't. This Lion Sash has been so brutal because we had both our season renewals. Or did we have both of them? I guess I just had one, but even with one, it's brutal. Okay, throw the Lion Sash onto Sashiro. Attack with a 7/7 Sashiro. That's true. If I can protect Kieran, then we can't die to milling, but now I only have one way to protect Kieran. I only have Tamio's safekeeping copy number 1. This is kind of a weird attack, because I can kill this thing unless they do some kind of massive trick. I guess I lose 3 creatures here. I feel like I have more than enough mana to not need Naturalist around. But it's probably better to lose a Samurai than a Naturalist. So we lose Kami, Samurai. Hey Sudoku, how's it going? We have not hit Mythic. No, it's very early in the season. We're Platinum 1 right now. 3-3, and right now we're 3-1 in this game. Oh yeah, I forgot about Lion Sash's ability. They just exile 2 cards right now. That was very loose. I needed to block with 1 more creature. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't actually really change much. Because they already have the better board state. The only thing that really matters is whether or not they get to kill our Cloudsteel Kieran. So that would be a massive punt in any other game, but this game it's kind of whatever. Oh, can't pick up my Geothermal Kami here because then I'm not holding up safekeeping. It's so tempting. The one time they don't have Lion Sash mana up to do that. Maybe I could have done that in the end step. Don't remember if I had the mana up. So he did play a lot of spells last turn. Probably did have the mana up though. Alright. We'll see if their deck is like ours and it's got no removal, then we can win. Unless they draw a lifelinker. Then it'll take a century to win, but we could still maybe do it. Because we can win the mill game. If both of us have nothing but lands left in our deck, we sit here drawing a card every turn, I run out of cards, but it doesn't matter, and then they run out of cards and die. Okay, Terrarium Shore. At exactly 0. Spicy. Ooh, another Blossom Prancer. I'd like to get prancing around here. Tails of Master Sashiro, so we can buff this flyer up. Bearer of Memory does it as well. I'm going to take Tails of Master Sashiro. If I take Bearer of Memory, I'm revealing a 3-mana card, which means they know I'm holding on to like Tamiyo Safekeeping here. Not that it would change their line. They would still just try to remove my creature twice. But I don't know. I'm going to go for the Tails. I don't necessarily like revealing that I just have Tamiyo Safekeeping. You did not play Kamigawa. What card is preventing me from losing at 0? The Cloudsteel Kieran I have equipped to my 4/4. Starting to feel a lot like the Pact Weapon deck we had. We're just sitting and praying our opponent can't kill this thing. Does feel that way a little bit, yeah. No flyers, no lifelink. No flyers, no lifelink. I can gain 2 life in an emergency, but that would be using the card that's going to save the Cloudsteel Kieran from dying anyway. And the only real emergency is if they try to blow up Cloudsteel Kieran, so... I guess if they cast Farewell... If they cast Farewell and exile everything, then yeah, we just gain 2 and our Kieran's gone. So that is kind of nice. Alright, they're going to keep shredding us to well below 0 now. And the 2 life in an emergency is not... gonna help anymore, unless I go for chump blocks, but I don't think I'm supposed to. We'll just see how low we can go. Because if I leave these creatures around, it's possible our opponent gets a little too greedy on attack, or I draw enough creatures to go wide around their board and find lethal on a later turn that way. The only way that going below 0 matters is if they specifically have Farewell, where they're going to exile everything. Because anything else they would have to get rid of Kieran, I'm stopping with Safekeeping. I guess if I went for chump blocks, it does make them need to... find 2 ways to kill Cloudsteel Kieran. But I only have like 2 turns worth of chump blocks, so that's not going to hold up over time as a strat. Yeah, Farewell is a risk I'm willing to take, because we're still just going to lose if they cast Farewell. Because they could just choose to exile all artifacts. They don't have to choose to exile all creatures. So if they choose to exile all artifacts, that would exile our Kieran. We could gain 2 and be at like 2 life, but then we have 6 blockers against their like 7 attackers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if they unequip Sash. But yeah, Farewell's just going to kill us still. Well, I guess it would exile their Lion Shash and their Reto Sentinel, or Rito Sentinel. Yeah, in the grand scheme, in a turn or 2, it would kill us. Even if I did manage to go to 2 life off of it. Alright, do they have a second removal spell? Nope, they've got 1 last turn to draw an out. They're at 1 life. Here we go. Everything on board. One final draw step for our opponent. Land. What is the other card? Harmonious Emergence. That's just a creature that does not have reach or flying. Cloudsteel Kieran. Wins another one. A busted magic card, especially with Tamiyo's safekeeping. That is 4 and 1. Officially, the believers get paid out. We got 4 wins or more there. Nice. Nice stuff. Choose the result here. It's at least a 4-win run. Yeah, I would have hated to be that opponent. They had a really, really good start. That does feel really good for us, though. That was a huge, huge comeback, yeah, after their crazy start.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Thank you for the follow, the Golden Horn Call. Close to Diamond, yeah. I think I'm like 1 win away. I'm going to play this as a white source because I'm going to get 2 more forests in my hand later, so I'll have plenty of green. Oath was huge, yeah. Oath stabilized very hard. We're going to play a turn 3 Boseiju reaches skyward, and I am going to enjoy that greatly. Playing against green-red, Papercraft Decoy coming in. This curve out is beautiful. Zeus's Many Journeys has played incredibly. Playing a Boseiju reaches skyward a turn early, then playing a Blossom Prancer a turn early. They've got a Thundering Raiju here. They're hitting pretty hard, but our Blossom Prancer gets to trade into one of those, as does our 3/3 from the Journeys. So we've got good blocks on board if they don't have a bunch of removal or something in hand. And we're going to have the card advantage just down on lock this game. I do like Samurai, but I think I like Kami better. Don't really have an enchantment I really want to bounce to these Kamis, though. And at 6 mana, I could play a Kami and a Samurai. Yeah, Samurai's indestructible ability is pretty enticing. So that I can, like, block one of their 4/4s with a 4/4 of my own and not even lose my 4/4. Opponent is doing enough damage here, though, that if they do send in Raiju as a 4/4, I'm going to block it. If they just send in Papercraft Decoy as a 4/4, then I wouldn't. But I guess they can't do that because they have to attack with this to get a counter on something. Yeah, I think I have to just trade here. I can't go to, like, 3 life. I guess 4 life. Alright, here's a gigantic branch of Boseiju to block. And I do like Season of Renewal here. Is there anything we can do really well for just 3 mana? We could just play a Bearer of Memory and pass. Feels a little greedy to go for Season of Renewal right now. I think I have to still commit a lot to the board this turn. I'm gonna guess realistically I'm only playing 1 blocker no matter what, unless I play Kami and Samurai and don't pick up an enchantment, which doesn't seem right. I might die because I did this. This is greedy, but I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I guess I could have played like Bearer of Memory and Samurai or something like that, or Geothermal Kami and Samurai. Those are my only ways to get 2 blockers out this turn. Alright, no attacks. That feels so good. Feels so good. Pick up the Prancer, pick up the Journeys. We have 7 mana now, meaning we get to play both. Alternatively, I get to play Prancer and Samurai, which I do like. Definitely going to play Prancer first, hold up green-white to play either of the other two. I like Naturalist, I like getting a lifelinker here, but Tales of Masters of Shiro is huge. I think I'll take the Tails. I'm going to play the Samurai this turn. Make my board really wide, and now I can make one of my blockers indestructible here. Could attack with Branch, but I'm still pretty scared here. I'm shaking in my boots after all the haste and extra burn they threw at my face. So I want to wait until I feel incredibly comfortable before I start attacking. Because if we're winning this game, we're establishing a ridiculous lead on the board state. Okay, 7 mana here. Play Tales and Journeys. And now I get to get a Vigilance attack in with Branch of Boseiju, and if they block it really big, we get to give it indestructible anyway. Yep. I can play Tales, Zeus's Many Journeys, and Fang of Shigeki here. And yeah, this attack can't go wrong. Yeah, there we go. That's gonna be game. Because now we get to start attacking with that 9 Vigilant damage, then 10 Vigilant damage the next turn. Force them into chumps. Even if they somehow find enough damage on board, we have the way to give it indestructible. Playing a Death Toucher and another bit of life gain there. Nice stabilizing. Nice winning. Nice win. Thank you, Dr. Moon. Yeah, that was a quick turnaround. We are 5-1 now. We're in the value. Getting more gems out of this than we put into it. Very happy with this deck. Removal's just not necessary when you have overwhelmingly big cards. Especially ones that draw you cards while you're playing them, like Branch of Boseiju and Blossom Prancer. Ooh. This is a good draft. Been a good day of drafts now. 3-3 into 5-1. It's 8 wins, 4 losses so far today. I'll take it. What's the queue times? No one wants to play Kamigawa? It's like the best format, come on. Alright, here we go. Game 7. Nice turn 2 Bamboo Grove Archer to keep our opponent's aggressive thoughts in check. Keep that all inside your head. And then the late game Imperial Oath to stabilize us and scry into our next big late game plays to take over the game. Song Shaper? Here's... That's the wrong land. Oh my god. That's not an archer. That was a big punt. I thought I was holding a forest. God, digital magic makes you look so silly sometimes. Okay, they have touched the Spirit Realm anyway, but now I'm taking more damage because they would have had to use Touch the Spirit Realm last turn. Oh no. Okay, if every single draw this game is a land, we can lose. If I hit any non-land card next turn, though, I think I'm in a really great spot to win this game. Give me literally any non-land. Well... Yep. That was rough. I would have had 1 life left at this point if I played Forest turn 2, but I would still definitely lose that game because I'd be at 1 life against a red deck. Yeah, I just drew 4 lands in a row. That was rough. Every other... Okay, I have 1 more Imperial Oath in my deck. If I drew anything outside of a land or a second Imperial Oath, then I would have had a way better shot at stabilizing. because I forced them to spend mana into using a removal spell on one of my blockers instead of playing another creature on board, or I actually get to trade off into one of their creatures and I keep a lot of damage off that way, which gives me just enough time to cast an Imperial Oath at like 5 or 6 life instead of 1 life, which, as we've seen in earlier matchups, can really stabilize a game. So that was just magic sometimes. And that's red-white for you. Yeah, we kept a 4-land hand, and then the only play we had was a turn 2 3/3. They had the removal to kill it, and then we only drew lands, so we didn't get to play anything until turn 6, where we were just dead by then. I guess it was a 5-land hand. I think it was Oath. Bamboo Grove Archer. No, it was a 4-land. It was Bamboo Grove Archer, Oath, and the thing that returns a creature and enchantment from grave. The problem was they exiled our enchantment creature, so we couldn't even like bring it back to block again. Yeah, Seasons of Renewal. Okay, this hand is a lot better, because no matter what we draw, it's gonna do a lot of stuff. Weaver of Harmony. I'll trade a Weaver of Harmony for my Tamiyo's Safekeeping, so their creatures don't get +1/+1 or get copied abilities or anything like that. The one problem with doing this is it keeps us from playing Bearer of Memory this turn, but I think it's worth it to get that off the board. Now we can play Sunblade Samurai instead, which I think is a good play. Well, channel it instead, because it guarantees we have the mana for Tales of Master Sashiro next turn, and it gets us closer to our 6 mana for Imperial Oath. And of course we have 2 Season of Renewals in this deck, so it's pretty nice to just plop it down. So here's Tales of Master Sashiro. 4 mana now from our opponent. Moonsnare Specialist, bounce to Naturalist. Pretty good deal, because it gets rid of our +1/+1 counter permanently. Cloudsteel Kieran I could play. I'd rather just play Naturalist and Enlightenment here. Definitely want another land here. I do like Journeys, but I need 2 more lands to get to Oath, so I'd rather put that on bottom. Their own Tales of Master Sashiro. Make the Specialist a 3/3 and get in. Okay, we get our 5/5 and get in. Dump everything on board here, thanks to Naturalist's cost reduction. Second Tales of Master Sashiro to make that big enough to trade into Living Legacy. They're at 12 life here. If I had removal in this deck, I'd threaten lethal on board. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Still hit pretty massively hard here, even without removal. They block my 3/2 and take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm at 28 life. Just going to probably attack them with everything. Which format do I like more, Kaldheim or Neon Dynasty? Kaldheim is spicy. I have really good attacks on board, but Imperial Oath is so tempting. It's nuts. If I attack with these two, they have no good blocks. They take like 8 here. Or they block, I kill that. Deal an extra damage. Yeah, I probably should have just attacked all. But Imperial Oath is too tempting. Yeah, we would just pump and kill that thing. Yeah, I probably should have attacked all, because it does force that block to happen, and that block's kind of going to happen regardless. I was too greedy about casting Imperial Oath there. Should have just respected that just buffing Sashiro's Living Legacy is more than good enough. Just went for attack all. That was the only block they could have chosen. Alright, they scooped them up anyway. Board state is too good. But that was the wrong line. Should have sent in the whole squad. 6 and 2 now. Heading into the final boss, win or lose. Can we get another Kamigawa Neon Dynasty trophy? I think the only trophy I've gotten in the return trip was my first draft with that red-black artifacts deck. So it'd be nice to get another 7-win run. Get the trophy. But hey, we grinded up into diamond today no matter what, so that's nice too. I don't love it. I'm gonna mulligan this. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope my opponent's not another red deck here. This could be a repeat of our second loss. Okay, they're on black. I hate that safekeeping can save lands, so it makes me click OK a bunch of times even when there's nothing on board. Drawing more big 5-drops. Do a huge stabilization here if we can make it to turn 5. But ninjas, you never know, they could hit really hard here. Moon Circuit Hacker, they're going to get a lot of good value. They'll hit us for 2 and draw a card. And they have the mana to replay that Inkrise Infiltrator. We've got a turn 4 play now. That's a start. Yeah, we heavily outvalue them if we survive. I'm just scared about surviving here. Well, not heavily. They've got these Moon Circuit Hackers that have both drawn a card, but we can outvalue them by a bit. Oh, wow. When they flip it back to their hands, they can draw another card off of it later. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just be tied in value. Uh-oh. That's not my 5th land. If I don't hit my 5th land turn 5, we're gonna have some issues. We already do have some issues. It was a slow keep here. I really didn't want to mold a 5 though. Really didn't want to mold a 5. I was just hoping for some cheap card drawn, because this hand had the late game at the ready with Prancer and Tails. Oof. Moon Snare Specialist is painful. I could play Kami and hold up my hexproof indestructible thing, but we're just gonna, I don't know, we're just gonna get value here, I guess. I'll take Samurai because it's a cheap card that I can play as a creature. If I hit a land, I can play 2 creatures next turn. Oh yeah, we could choose none and gain life. I forgot about that. May have been better. It's probably better, just gain 4 here. Haven't played enough Blossom Prancers in my life. The Death Touch! This is the Ninjas deck with absolutely everything. They have the Death Touch one, they still have the card draw and the bounce one in hand here. They could bounce the Prowler to draw another card here, and then they bounce whatever I play next turn. Now I just die to Inkrise Infiltrator. I did not hit the 6th land to play 2 things here. Should have gained the 4. I'd be at 8 here. I wouldn't die this turn anymore, but I would still not win this game. I guess I Kami and hold up safekeeping. But yeah, that's still pretty dead. They go for the bounce, I hexproof it and gain life. I still have a blocker here, but they hit for 2. 5, maybe. Actually, they can just ninjutsu a bunch of nonsense. Like Prowler and get extra damage in that way. Alright, there's Specialist. We'll get Hexproof. Attack everybody. They're going to do the 3-1 and just give lifelink to one of their attacking creatures here. Because if they give Death Touch, it doesn't matter. I've got Indestructible. Alright, well, okay, that's fine. I guess they gained 1 less life this way. Yeah, they didn't realize the Indestructible there. So that is an advantage. I can Spinning Wheel Kick for 1. I can have 3 blockers down. If they have a single removal spell, I die, but that's the most I can do here. Hey, this is rough. This is really rough because it does look like I probably had a chance if I gained 4, because I'd be at 5 life right now, but then I wouldn't play 2 blockers this turn, I'd just play 1. But still, feels like a shot if I was at 5 life. It's still a shot, it's just a really small one. Boop. 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 Indestructible there. Actually, it might have been better to kill the hacker than the 3-1, since a single point of damage kills me either way, and the hacker maybe draws them a card. Well, I guess if it draws them a card, I die also. Oh, I couldn't get 1 more mana for my Spinning Wheel Kick. I have to Spinning Wheel Kick for 1 here. I guess I get to play Fang of Shigeki and still Spinning Wheel Kick for 1. That's a thing that I can do. Yep. And that means I don't have removal for the Behold the Unspeakable, though. But I can't survive if I don't kill Infiltrator right now. I don't have any reach. Yeah, I'm forced in the Spinning Wheel Kick for 1. I'll hit for 2 and still have 2 blockers on the ground. Well, this one blocks that without dying. I'll hit for 1 and still have 2 blockers on the ground. Clawing Torment kills me. Network Disruptor does not. They need 2 removal spells. Kami of Terrible Secrets. They gain a life, draw a card. Alright, I'm forced into a trade instead of a good block. And I need to find another way to kill 2 flyers now, because I need to kill Network Disruptor and I need to kill this Behold soon. There's a Naturalist, which does not do it. I'm not gaining any life here. I just take 1 damage from Disruptor and I'm gone. If they attack on the ground, if they assume I have some trick to kill Disruptor, like 4 damage to an attacking flyer or something, maybe they'll attack on the ground as well, and then I gain a little bit of life and stay in it. Very small chance, but a chance nonetheless. I think all in all, this Selfless Samurai, that turn I got to play 2 blockers there, ended up being very helpful. So I think it probably balanced out too. To being just as dead as having gained the 4. Because the triple blocker turn was really important. But still dead. Good run nonetheless. 6 and 3. Nice amount of gems out of this one. Super nice deck. That was pretty sweet, getting some late Blossom Prancers and stuff. Really nice run, got us into Diamond. Big fan of the deck. Again, biggest flaw is the lack of removal, but outside of that, some real beauties there. The many journeys and the Jukai Naturalist to be able to play Boseiju Reach of Skyward on turn 3 was always nuts. Cloudsteel Kieran won us some games. That did some stuff, especially with double safekeeping. Never really got to win any games off of Spinning Wheel Kick, unfortunately. It was always too slow, we just didn't have enough mana. But we got some Imperial Oath wins, some Blossom Prancer, huge value plays. Everything showed up, did its job quite well, so pretty sweet second draft. Well, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, you can help me out by liking, commenting, and subscribing to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you more of these videos in your recommended feeds. But other than that, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back again soon with some more Magic Arena.